everybody, welcome back to Dinner and a Tip. My name is Brenda and I'm going to be your cooking guide. So today we're going to do a beef chow mein, but this isn't your chow mein that you're thinking when you go to the Chinese restaurant. This is like your mama's chow mein from like 1970s, 1980s. If you got lucky and your mom could cook, she went ahead and made it from scratch. If your mom couldn't cook like mine, it came in a blue cylinder, yay big, and it was LaCroix, and actually I did see that they still make that, but we are going to make it better than the process can. So let's go back to 1970, 1980. Okay, my kid's looking at me weird. He has no idea what Wayne's World is, and that was actually cool. Well, was it cool? It was, sure. So I'm going to go ahead and start with some onions, and we're just going to go ahead and get these chopped. I'm going to do some celery for this one. Just can't have chow mein without the celery. So give it a little shake, get this all cut up. If you haven't got one of these choppers, you are missing out. This makes my life so much easier. And it's better when your vegetables are consistently cut, because then they cook more evenly. So look at that. So let's go ahead and get some butter down first for our vegetables. So I'm actually going to do onions and, whoops, we got runaway butter. I'm going to do onions and celery. I'm going to do mushrooms. My mom, when she would do it, would do the canned mushrooms, which is, I do enjoy a good slimy mushroom, but today we're going to elevate this one, so we're actually going to use fresh mushrooms. So we're going to get all of that down and get that started. So we're going to start with getting the vegetables, because those are going to cook the longest. We want to have them nice and soft when we're adding our vegetables into our chow mein. So, alright, so we're going to let those cook down, and then we're going to go ahead and start. So I'm making this for 6 people, so I'm going to do 1.5 pounds of hamburger. And because we're going to add a lot of other seasonings in, I'm not actually going to salt the hamburger this time, or pepper, because there's going to be enough flavors going on, especially when you're cooking with soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce. Never going to say that right. When you're cooking with all of that, that actually has a lot of salt in it, so I don't want to add any extra salt into this recipe. Put it on the table just in case you've got that one person that can't get enough salt. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. And for the rice, I went ahead and pre-cooked our rice. I did 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of water. All you're going to do is simply boil that water. Get it boiling, shut it off, put the rice in, and it will go ahead and set up. You can buy the Uncle Ben's already pre-made rice and then just keep that on the Blackstone if you would like. So, gotta get a start on our hamburger. So the hamburger I'm doing is an 80-20. I want to have a little bit of the juice on it, so that's why I went with 80-20 instead of a higher one. You could do 70-30, but I think you might get a little too much grease. And because I don't have a way to drain this off, I don't want to go ahead and go too crazy with it. So this is probably halfway cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and start seasoning our meat. And actually, I'm going to do some Brussels, what are these? Bean sprouts. So I'm going to do that. You could actually add water chestnuts. You could add some carrots into this if you would like. There's lots of different options that you can do with your chow mein. If you want to sneak some extra vegetables in there, you sure can. So, alright, let's get that cleaned off. And now let's go ahead and get our hamburger seasoned. So I'm going to go ahead and do a tablespoon of ginger paste. I'm going to do a couple tablespoons of soy sauce. And like I said, this already has a lot of salt in it, so I'm not going to go ahead and do any other salt or seasoning. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. and then 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. And then we'll be ready to give that a quick mix. So I am getting a fair amount of grease. And if you can, just kind of push the grease to the back of your grill. We never really did get ours level, so it's nice. It kind of just auto drains to the corner. So let's give that hamburger another mix. I love it. I can smell the ginger. I can smell the garlic that I'm going to go ahead and throw in here. And basically, like somebody told me that vampires don't like garlic. They made it very clear in one of my comments. So if you're a vampire and you choose not to use garlic, that's alright. I, however, am not a vampire, so I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic. So before we mix all of our cooked vegetables in here, I want to make sure that this hamburger is all the way cooked, because it's not going to be cooking. So I think the way my mom made this was a casserole where you just put all of the ingredients and water in it and then you baked it, but this isn't going to be baked. This is going to go straight from the grill to the plate. So you want to make sure that that hamburger is cooked all the way. Ugh. Love the smell of the soy sauce, the ginger, all of it is coming together just the way I would like it. So a little bit of red spots on that hamburger, so I'm going to go ahead, spread that out, and then this is what goes from chow mein to chow mein casserole, where if I would like to say in the Minnesota, we're going to have a casserole or a hot dish today because, well, we're in Minnesota and it's cold, so it's time to get the hot dishes out. So, can't have a hot dish without the soup. So you could do a cream of chicken, but I'm doing cream of mushroom for this one, just because there's no chicken in this, so why use chicken? But if it's what you've got in the cabinet, go ahead and use it. So, all right, we're gonna just go ahead and fold that in. And now that that is in there, let's go ahead and mix our vegetables in. So this totally reminds me of my childhood, and I am super excited to try this. So there we go. Add those extra vegetables in a little bit, maybe if I need them. So, all right, let's go ahead and knock that heat down. And so we're just gonna go ahead and take our rice that's already pre-cooked. Throw some of that down. Get everything cooked, and you cannot forget the noodles. So, just gonna pop a couple noodles on there. Alright, let's find something to give this a try. And I think if I remember correctly, we always did a little bit of, topped it with a little soy sauce. So, alright. Well, let's see if we transported back to the 70s and 80s for this one. I'm definitely back to my childhood with this recipe. Go ahead and subscribe. If you've got any other recipes from the 70s or 80s that you want me to see if I can recreate for you on the Blackstone, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Can't wait to see you next time. Eat happy, because I'm going to.